morning, everybody. I'm John Wengert, president of Lebanon Valley Rail Trails, and appreciate your coming out today to help us celebrate the opening of Phase 5 of the Lebanon Valley Rail Trail. Our trail now extends with this most recent completion 16 miles from the Lancaster County line to basically this point here in the city of Lebanon. With Phase 5, we got into some new challenges because extending our trail into an urban environment like the city brought a new set of challenges to the trail building process. But I think this short section, and it's only 0.75, 3/4 of a mile long, probably represents our greatest achievement to date in terms of the number of partners that we brought into this process. And we're fortunate today to have representatives from all those partners present to help us cut the ribbon. We're really fortunate here in Lebanon to have the coalition of support and the partnerships among state agencies, the local county government, our state elected officials, the Chamber of Commerce, PennDOT, and the private enterprises located along the trail, all coming together for a common goal. Here, we're just constantly about doing it. You know, everybody is focused on making it happen, and again, because of that partnership, we've had tremendous success. And I think the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources was our first statewide partner, going back to the feasibility study for the trail that was conducted in 1996. DCNR and Lori Yike, who's going to speak in a minute, was actually involved back then with the feasibility study, and that's where we laid out the vision for what we wanted to achieve, which at the time was limited basically to a daily news to the county line scope. But since then, DCNR has funded just about every section, every extension that we've done, and every improvement and side trail that we've done over the years. So I appreciate Lori's help, and it's been a pleasure working with her and the department all these years. One of our other early partners were the Lebanon County Commissioners. I know all three are here today. There was there's been different commissioners involved over the years. Their involvement allowed us to have a single owner for the trail. The county owns the trail, which is important. They serve as the grantee for most of our grant projects and facilitate the processing of the financial details of construction and future development. So we really appreciate their help for so long. Right around Phase 2, when we did the first extension of the trail, we started working with PennDOT and the Transportation Enhancements Program. And that was back in 2002 when we did that. And we built, over the years, another very successful partnership in efficiently using transportation enhancement funds, which can very easily get bogged down in bureaucracy. And I know Leona's here, Leona Barr, where'd you go? In the back. Leona's been our partner at PennDOT with the mechanics of helping us get through that red tape and not getting bogged down over the years. So we appreciate their help, and that's been a huge funding source for us over the years as far as trail development. Then the Lebanon County MPO and the planning folks at the county really have helped us keep the momentum going on the day-to-day involvement of conducting meetings with stakeholders and public meetings and organizing events like this. I have a full-time job, and this is my side occupation, so it's very easy for stuff to fall through the cracks. And Tom Cote and and Chris and John Fitzke and the other guys from planning have filled a void there, what could have easily been a void, with that attention to detail and that administration work, which has really been a great help. On phase 5, we have some new partners, and it's a really exciting new partner. The guys down here from the Red Horse Squadron. Keith Brannon was coming to our meetings just as an interested trail supporter right around the time that we were discussing how this was going to work as far as building this section, and Keith had the idea that maybe I could go to my superiors and see if this could be done as a training exercise, because we do some things like this for the communities. And Keith really got the ball rolling, and that turned out to be a huge benefit for us. It saved us a ton of money. They actually paved this entire section that you see here, all the way to this entire phase 5, as a training exercise for their guys. And that was a huge help and a great new partnership. We really appreciate what you did for us. The City of Lebanon, the first time we worked with the city, and another outstanding partner, because these street crossings that you see here are major thoroughfares. These are, north and southbound Route 72. You have to figure out how to safely cross these streets, and that was not an easy task. So we appreciate the help Gordon Kirkesner and the mayor provided to facilitate that. It's been a roadblock, so to speak. But we worked through all the details of making these designs safe for people to cross at these 5 street crossings that were involved in this section. These guys, Friends of Fisher Park, were another partner. We decided that this was a pretty neat connection here, and we did the signs so that people know they don't just go zooming by here. They might stop and pay some respect to the veterans that are remembered on these plaques, and that was a neat connection. We actually opened this up a little. We opened this area up a little bit. That was definite improvement here in the city. And we worked with Jubilee Ministries down here at 12th Street, another entity that we had to coordinate. They do a lot of good work there, and we didn't want to interfere with their traffic patterns. So between the city and ourselves and Claire from Jubilee Ministries, we were able to accommodate the trail basically going through their parking lot. And they're actually going to landscape that down there on their own, make it look even better. So that's what this section's all about, partnership. Behind me is a very strong board of volunteers that have been working with LVRT for a number of years. Most of them since the beginning, 16 years ago. So if you could all put your hands up. Les, Mike, Jay, Murray in the back, Hershey Bear, treasurer. There's no way we could have gotten this far without with all that support as well. Design of this section was Wilson Consulting Group. Mark Wilson's in the back. He's been working with us on the design of the trail pretty much since phase 1. And construction of this section was Rogel Incorporated. I don't know if anybody's here from Rogel, but they did a fantastic job as well. The only other thing, I read a quote in a Facebook post the other night from New York. They're trying to build a rail trail through the Adirondacks, 112-mile trail from Utica to Lake Placid. The outstanding thing, but I think what caught my eye was that somebody made the comment, building rail trails is a lot about believing in a future you can't see yet. And that sort of hit me as right on, that's right on target. Because we stood out here, I know Jamie Wolgemuth was here in 1996 when we hiked from the Daily News out to Wilhelm Avenue through the brush. And you really have to have a vision to see and believe in what it's going to look like. And I think that's what we have here today. I encourage everyone to check it out after the ribbon cutting, because it made a huge difference here, I think, in downtown.
We've mentioned Lori Ike, and Lori's going to come up and speak right now. Lori's a professional planner with DCNR, but I think what's more important about Lori is she's a great person. Lori, we love working with you. You know that, and when we have you here, it's just a pleasure to be with you and around you and work with you. We've worked through a lot of tough issues over the years, no question about that, but everything has been done, to extremely high standards. So come on up and say a few words.
Well, good morning. It brings me great pleasure and pride to be here among new partners such as yourself. That's just, I believe, a national story about the Red Horse Squadron working on this trail, and I've been telling Tom that, and I hope to write a story and put this somewhere. This is a national story. And the county commissioners, through the years, I've gotten to know a lot of them, and the thing that always impressed me is they've always supported this trail, every single one, and that doesn't happen statewide. I also want to thank the Planning Commission. Without you and your support behind the scenes, this trail would have never happened. And of course, John Wengert, I always say that behind every phenomenal recreation and park project, there is a local leader who just stands in front of it, who is patient and persistent and sees the vision, and that's John Wengert. The trail group is one of the finest professional and hardworking trail volunteer groups that I've ever met in the Commonwealth. They maintain this trail. It's not the county, it's the volunteers, and for them, they should be commended. To tell a little personal story, John Wengert and I, we were talking earlier, have known each other almost 20 years, which is pretty amazing, because in those 20 years, I got married, had 3 children, who are now 7, 12, and 14, and all 3 of them have learned to ride on the Lebanon Valley Rail Trail, closer towards the Cornwall section in the Mount Gretna, where the Tigger Shop is, which is, of course, one of my favorite places. DCNR is a proud supporter of rail trails all around the Commonwealth. Currently, we rank number 3 nationwide in the number of trails. We have 167 open trails, totaling 1,611 miles, and we hope that that will continue with your progression to Sotero State Park. In fact, last week, DCNR and our partners out west celebrated the completion of the 100-mile Allegheny Passage Trail from Pittsburgh to Cumberland, Maryland. That's a phenomenal achievement. So I hope to be here when we connect to Sotero State Park, and then also from Sotero State Park, we can connect to the Dauphin County's trail as well. And so we're very excited about that. The Stony Creek Valley Rail Trail, we can connect to that and head west. So why does DCNR support trails so highly? Why have we invested $1.5 million approximately into this project over the years, which has leveraged over $3.5 million in local contributions from federal, state, private individuals, and wonderful volunteers? Why have we done that? First of all, as you know, last year I believe there was a study done on the trail that said that people spend $900,000 on this trail in a year. That's phenomenal. I'm just going to echo what the gentleman from the Commerce said, Chamber of Commerce. So they spend $900,000 on local restaurants and stores. DCNR supports sustainable development communities all across the Commonwealth. Also, home buyers are attracted to park and trail systems that are maintained, that are clean, green, and safe. That's what they want. According to the National Association of Home Builders, found that 65% of home shoppers surveyed felt that parks were a serious consideration where they purchase a home, along with schools, but parks and public places are just as important. They increase property values, which again, then increases the tax revenue from local communities. Affluent retirees are attracted to trail and community park systems. They want places close to home where they can recreate. I was recalling at a public meeting several years ago where we had the folks from Cornwall Manor there, and there was some apprehension about the trail being built. But in recent years, what do they have connecting to the trail? They have trail systems connecting from the homes at Cornwall Manor. And in fact, I've seen over the years that Cornwall Manor Marketing Department has used the trail to market their homes and their systems at Cornwall Manor. So good for them. Also, knowledgeable and talented workforce want to live in places where there are excellent park systems that are clean, green, and safe. And they want to live where places they can play, where they can work, where it's close to home. They're attracted, thank you, where they can play, work, and enjoy themselves. And that's where Lebanon County stands to gain, has a wonderful opportunity to attract those kinds of people that we want in our community. Also, trails are a health investment in our health. Think about it. We have an obesity crisis across the nation and in Pennsylvania. If people have somewhere they can go that's close to home and recreate, instead of getting a prescription for a drug, think if the doctors would do park scripts. They're doing that across the country. They're doing it in some places. And in fact, my parents who have had heart disease, their doctor actually said, you go on the walking path near your home in Fairview Township, York County. So in recent, Jennifer Ebersole from the Pennsylvania Director of Government Relations for the American Heart Association said, research actually tells us that for every dollar invested in walking and bicycling trails yields $3 in medical cost savings. That's huge. Think about it. If we would invest in preventative health care in places like this, how much money could we save? In conclusion, I would like to again congratulate you on the opening of another section of trail. It is sustainable development, an investment in the future of your county, the people that live there, and the health and well-being of its citizens. We look forward to standing at the connection to Jonestown, at the connection to Soterra State Park. So thank you and congratulations again.
A few PennDOT folks, and I'm going to acknowledge them again right now. Beth Raves, we work with in the central office of PennDOT. Beth, raise your hand, please. Beth helps us with planning and programming in the transportation sector. And Leona Barr is here. Leona worked with Mark Wilson. Mark is standing aside of Leona. They're the real engineers that helped design this, and then the Red Horse Squadron helped to build this. So Leona and Mark, thank you so much. I'd like to bring everyone related to the military, the Red Horse Squadron.
I appreciate the opportunity for us to be here today. A project like this does a few things. It allows us to work in our local community. It gives back. It's a project we can drive by and see and be proud of the things we did. But it also gives us an opportunity to do the things that we need to train for our wartime skills. So we're hoping that when Phase 6 comes along that we'll be invited to participate in that as well. And again, thank you for letting us be here today.
Anyway, we're not finished here. That's the only other message I'd leave you with today. We have a lot of work to do in the coming years. It's been alluded to that we'd like to extend this trail all the way to Soterra State Park. Next year we're going to be building the first section of that northern extension, which will be in Jonestown. Initially it'll be a standalone section, about 1.5 miles. Because it's a new area of the county, we feel that it'll be good to get a section open up in that area so that people up in the northern part of the county can experience what it's like and see what the benefits are, and then we'll extend it from there in both directions, north towards the state park and south towards Tunnel Hill, towards the Union Canal Tunnel Park. Phase 6, which picks up right here in the town and would connect to the Union Canal Tunnel Park. We're completing that feasibility study right now. We have a route to get there. It's going to be fairly complex, probably even more complex than this was. And the key thing is we have a route. It's doable to get there, and that's what we will be working on the next couple of years. In addition, we're going to be making some improvements at the Cornwall trailhead. It's a very popular trailhead that needs to be expanded to handle the influx of vehicles on the weekend. We'll be developing a website to promote Lebanon County trails in general, not just this one, but the interconnections with this one, the Appalachian Trail and Horseshoe Trail and the Heritage Trail. We'll be working on that this year. And I know Todd would get mad if I didn't mention this, because we have another big thing coming, which is private capitalization of this trail has been important over the years. We did 2 capital campaigns previously, raised close to $700,000 from local individuals and businesses, and we've just decided that we're going to do a 3rd campaign to support the northern extension. Our goal is going to be to raise $500,000, and I feel pretty confident that we'll be able to. We've actually had people come to us that are very interested in supporting the trail to ask when you're going to do another capital campaign. So after hearing that several times, and knowing what we have ahead of us up there in terms of local match requirements, support structures like maintenance sheds and things like that, we're going to do it. This fall, look for that to be publicized.
Okay, ready to cut the ribbon?
Cut the ribbon.
Okay.
Ready?